We continue our conversation now with Colonel Vaughn Jr., Newcastle County Police Chief. The heroin crisis has hit the entire country, and not just Newcastle County, but for a time, it seemed like up and down the I-95 corridor, including Newcastle County, it hit the country harder along that area than anywhere else. Is there a reason for that? Is it distribution?
That's a good question. You'll hear a lot of different trains of thoughts, and I think as far as any of the drugs over the years, that I-95 corridor has always been a main pathway for individuals who are trafficking drugs and who are involved in the illegal drug trade. But you're right, we're facing a crisis. It's very alarming. We are doing all that we can to educate individuals on the front end. We're doing everything we can to hopefully prevent the younger people through our Heroin Alert program and let them know about the dangers. Any opportunity that we have, we want to take it. But we're also taking a hard stance as law enforcement. We have a duty and an obligation to go after those individuals that are selling and trafficking in these drugs. And so we've increased our efforts as far as investigations. We are now looking at when we have a heroin overdose, we're doing a complete investigation. We're making every effort to identify who those dealers are, and through that investigation, hopefully being able to hold them responsible for the death of the person.
It's strange. There has been a shift in the country because of the opioid crisis, where it used to be drug users were criminals and were jailed. And now there has been a shift just because the crisis has gotten so large that they're no longer seen that way. They're seen as victims who have a disease. That must have changed the way law enforcement has had to react to people who are using drugs.
Well, you know, what it does is it has, in a sense, however, we still have a responsibility that if an individual is out committing crimes, and while they may suffer from an addiction, you know, we have a responsibility that if they commit a crime, that we have to enforce the law. However, we are putting in programs such as our Hero Help program, where we're offering people, if there's a low-level crime that they committed, an opportunity to go and get treatment. Because what we recognize and we realize over the years is that, you know, you can arrest someone for a crime and they have an addiction. Well, they go get probation. Maybe they don't go for counseling. But they come back out and they do something. So it's time to look at it a little bit different and see what we can do on the front end. And if there's an opportunity for us to get a person into our Hero Help program where, you know, we can defer charges or delay the charges, and if possible, if it's a minor offense, drop the charges altogether if that person completes a program.
You use Narcan, right?
Yes, sir.
And when you use Narcan, should it be, and I know this is a legislative question, not a question for you, but I want to see how you believe in this. If you use Narcan, should the person be required to go into treatment after that?
You know, that's a very interesting question. Personally, I believe in treatment programs. I know that they work. If it's a way, if it's an opportunity for us to put a person into a treatment program in an effort to save their life so that they do not come back out and have another overdose episode, then I am, just on the surface of it, I am in favor of it.
Wilmington, historically, if you take the last decade, has had a crime problem. What kind of commitment does the Newcastle County Police Department have to Wilmington?
You know, at the end of the day, the only ones who respect the jurisdictional lines are the police department. Those that are engaged in criminal activity, they go back and forth. And so we have an obligation to each other, along with the Delaware State Police and the other municipalities, that we need to work together, that we need to increase our communication, and we have been, just to talk about it. And so that was one of the reasons why at Newcastle County, we opened up our investigators meeting, something that we have every Wednesday at 2 o'clock. And we invite all the agencies here in Newcastle County to come to our building. We sit down and we put up the investigations that we have, the open crimes that we have, so we could talk about it. And as a result of it, even Middletown Police Department comes up every week, Newcastle City, And as a result of that, we've been doing it now for about a month and a half. We've seen several cases already being solved by individuals that had it not been for us having this ongoing communication, cases might not have gotten solved.
That's great to hear. I should have started the interview by congratulating you, so let me do that now. Congratulations. Thank you so much for coming in. We hope to have you back. Colonel Vaughn Jr., Newcastle County Police Chief. When we come back, trying to unite all progressives to get more involved in politics in Delaware when the Delaware Way continues.